Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Let's Talk About Stuff of Life. This evening, let's talk about life in lockdown. And we're really excited to have David Lau with us this evening, who's an international student currently on Manor Park in lockdown. This is it the fourth episode now of this series, and we're really wanting to focus on the big topics that we're all facing at the moment. So we've talked about faith in challenging times with the rabbi. We've talked about loss of a parent and how to deal with death. We've talked about fear and anxiety last week, and this evening we're talking about life in lockdown, which is hopefully going to be a bit lighter. This is a great opportunity for you to join in as well. Do comment and send in any questions to David or Joe or myself. I'm Lily. I work for Friends International here with the team, and we are here for any international students, trying to welcome them, making them feel loved and appreciated, and we're helping to connect them with other internationals as well as local people. And we're here for any students of any faith or background, really. So we put on a lot of events, and this is one of them. Good evening, David and Joe. It's lovely to have you both here.
Hi, Lily.
And having you join in, I'm going to introduce Joe, and then David as well. We're going to get a little bit more airtime with David, obviously, because he's the big guest. Joe is my colleague, and he is the guy behind the camera. You're probably going to hear from him a lot in the near future, so it's something to look forward to. And David, as I said already, he is an international student on Manor Park at this moment. At this very moment, and he's a law student. Is that right?
Yes, I do. I study law and criminology. First year.
Pretty cool. Is it NCIS stuff?
That's more of crime scene investigation, but I'm more on the law side of things right now. But it has stuff similar.
David,
that sounds very exciting.
Sorry, Lily. David, are you specializing in any particular area of law?
I actually don't want to be a lawyer, so law is not on that side. I'm more focusing on being part of like law enforcement, in that sense of enforcement more than in a courtroom and in specific law. But criminal law is my favorite currently, as you can tell. Yeah.
Wow. Yep. Do you have any favorite crime shows?
Favorite crime shows. Oh, I've currently been watching Scorpion, which is sort of a crime show, but it's about geniuses as well. But I guess like normal FBI, Brooklyn 99, not really like a enforcement, but still a little bit. So yeah, they're pretty nice as well.
Oh, nice. I've started watching Bosch, the new series, yesterday. I highly recommend it.
Okay, I'm going to write it down.
Yes, you should check that out. David, you are from Hong Kong, is that correct?
Yes.
Do I have the right information? Brilliant.
Yeah.
When were you home last time?
I went back for Christmas to visit family and friends, so I was back quite recently. That's why I chose not to go back this Easter. Yeah, so even though if the virus didn't come here, I wouldn't have planned to go back anyways. So,
yeah. So do you have any plans, obviously, Corona, up to Corona when you're over, but if you're allowed to travel again, would you be going home in the summer, or are you planning to stay around?
Yeah, so I'm planning to leave probably, if possible, in the next 2 months. So around June. My flight is scheduled in June, but we'll see how things are. I'm trying to finish most of my work before I go back so I can enjoy summer instead of procrastinating back in Hong Kong. So yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your family.
My parents are actually missionaries. So we actually, I grew up in Thailand for 6-7 years. And basically, they basically did Bible translation work there, as well as just working with the Aboriginal tribes in Thailand. So I think as a kid, I didn't really know what was going on. But Slowly, we kind of moved back to Hong Kong so that my parents can take care of my grandparents.
Yeah.
So my mom still goes back and forth to Thailand. Yeah, but that's basically, and my parents are big involvement in the churches around Hong Kong as well.
All right.
So yeah, that's what they do.
Sounds like you have a lot of good stories.
Yeah. I don't
Please say
remember
yes.
most of it.
Okay, so you probably would need to ask more specific stories then, and more specific questions.
Yeah, I'll probably remember that better.
Yeah,
More
right.
specific, yeah.
It sounds very adventurous growing up in the Aboriginal
Yeah,
tribes in Thailand.
yeah. Not like my parents work there, but like I live near one of the mainer cities. Um, yeah, but still interesting though. I'll try to remember it if we have some
Yes,
questions.
next time we have you, you're going to share some
Yeah,
more stories from
will
Thailand.
do.
Let's talk about Thailand then. That's what we can call it.
Yeah,
Joe, over to you.
So, David, we're going to start with the question: what have you been up to? What have you been up to in lockdown period?
Good question, because I actually don't know what I've been up to. I've honestly just waking up and we've started classes recently. So from today onwards, we get a lot more work to do. But in the previous weeks, I've probably just been waking up, did a little bit of Netflixing, played a little bit of games, sang some worship songs really loudly.
Are you the only
Yeah,
one in your flat left then?
Yeah, I am only one in my flat left, so I can be as loud as I want. Yeah, but basically it's been quite boring, but just trying to stay busy and active as well. Yeah, but that's basically what I've been doing.
Talk to us about Netflix. What's been on your watch list at the minute?
Yeah, as I was saying, I was watching Scorpion, so that's in. I've been watching Money Heist. I really love it. Money Heist is amazing. What else? There's a bunch of things here and there I've just been watching. I don't really remember it because it's not that good. So I just try. I've started Peaky Blinders as well. That's something that everyone's told me to watch. So I've just been trying things out. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite genre?
Definitely crime related or something to do with law enforcement is definitely something. But sometimes I think it gets a little bit quite intense. So I need some like comedy or some lighter things that can balance it out as well. So yeah, Brooklyn 99,
Good choice.
Modern Family, those are amazing ones as well. Yeah.
I can imagine while you watch things like Peaky Blinders, particularly in your role, that you're thinking, that's the type of person I want to arrest. That's the type of person.
I mean, Peaky Blinders comes from the perspective of criminals. So, I mean, and also it's in the cowboys. I guess it's in the cowboy. No, not cowboy century. It's in the like vintage Britain type of atmosphere. So, guess it's a little bit more modern now. I don't know. I've started a few episodes, so I'm not there yet. I'm not into like the big genre yet, in the big situation yet. Yeah.
So obviously, television and gaming, you mentioned, are things you're enjoying at the minute. Is there anything almost non-media that you're enjoying?
UK weather's been amazing lately, so definitely been out on runs. We have like, I don't know, 8 massive football pitches here at the back of Manor Park, so just been going on sunset runs. I don't know, just admiring God's creation, let's say that. Wow. in the sense of when we have good weather, because most of the time it doesn't look that nice. Yeah.
And what about things you've not enjoyed as much or even struggled with during this lockdown period?
I think like as an extrovert, it's a little bit hard not talking to anyone face to face. Just seeing one of my course mate working at Tesco, that kind of made my day already. So can you tell how, so I think just being an extrovert, it's harder to have that interaction with people face to face. I mean, there's always technology and stuff like that, but it's different when you're talking to someone face to face, when you're hanging out or having a cup of coffee or something like that. Yeah, but second of all, I think just living alone, having the discipline as I get back to schedule, with studies and with different things, instead of just waking up at like 2 in the afternoon and stuff like that. So I think that's something that I'm working towards. It's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah.
You're going to find that a difficult pattern to break, having got up at 2 o'clock. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not that bad. I kind of exaggerated there, but maybe around like 11 or 12. It's still quite late. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to know. What have you learned, maybe about yourself, particularly in this period as well?
I think learning to be patient is a big thing.
Yeah.
As much as I want this to pass, I think there's a certain sense of understanding that it will pass soon enough. At the same time, I think learning how to take care of myself as well in this time is another big thing. I guess like staying busy and connected with the world is another big thing as well. So balancing all the different factors in how we manage our time, or how I manage my time, has been a big lesson as well. Yeah.
Have you had planned to travel a lot in this time? If lockdown
we were supposed to actually go to a big conference that's run by UCCF. The branch that's in charge of all the Christian unions in the UK, for this big conference called Word Alive. We were going to travel as a CU, go huddle in some caravans for a week near Snowdon in, I think that's Wales. I think that's Wales. Yeah. So just being able to meet other CUs as well as spending time with people and the CU as well, but I guess that didn't happen. But I also wanted to travel Europe a little bit because I've never been out of Asia until coming here. This is my first time being out of Asia, so I just want to travel Europe since I'm really close by anyways.
What is your top one destination in Europe that you definitely want to see?
I've never been asked that before, so that's pretty.
Oh, really?
I've never been asked that because everyone knows I don't go out of Asia. So I think I would really like to go to Paris or like Rome, Italy. I don't know, just like some nice place so I can relax and chill for a little bit. I don't really know much about Europe, but yeah.
Oh man, I wouldn't go to Rome or Paris to chill. In my mind, there's some super big cities that are really busy.
Paris is known for just relaxing or something like that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
The relaxation of cheese and wine, walking down.
Yeah.
You've watched too many movies, David.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So although lockdown is a really nice time for us at the minute, it is eventually, going to end, and we'll have to go back to normal life. We'll have to go back to studies and work and everything, and our routine will be changed again.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll miss anything from lockdown? Is there anything you'd like to continue once lockdown has been lifted?
I think just spending time alone is a good thing, because as an extrovert, I love talking to people all the time. So sometimes it's all about just meeting with people all the time, hanging out, just doing different things instead of giving myself time to get the energy back, or have rest, or have time with God, or just doing times in devos, or stuff like that as well. Especially second of all, Hong Kong is a very, very busy place. Everything is very fast paced. I kind of like the peace and quiet that I'm getting right now currently. even though I'm not used to it, it's a little bit, you get to think a lot more about life, as well as your road ahead, and stuff like that, instead of like, in a busy city where it's like keep going, everyone's just like rushing here and there all the time. So I think that's something I'll definitely miss. But yeah, I think in that sense, I won't miss anything, because I think I'd rather life be a little bit normal again, but also keeping that in mind of having some alone time to recuperate and kind of get that energy back as well. Yeah.
I guess the lectures won't start back, like they're going to continue online as they're starting now again,
Yeah.
or today. And I assume it's planned that they're going to stay online till lectures are finished. So what do you expect from the next few weeks and months? What do you think?
I think the first part is getting my schedule fixed back on track, and waking up early, and also completing coursework and stuff like that. I've been doing some of that over the break, so it's okay. Not massively different, but I think just keeping my mind on track of working and relaxation at this time, because it can feel like this just Easter break going over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the fact that some of our exams are swapped to assessments makes you think that, oh, I can just not show up anymore, because we have our assessment anyways, and it's not gonna be much new content that's set in. But as well as, I think because of my subject being quite tricky as well, doing law, it takes a lot of self-discipline with completing readings. Some of the things I definitely will not understand. So just taking the initiative to, do the extra mile to understand it a little bit more. I think that's something, because I personally don't like reading. I know it's a little bit ironic to doing this course, but reading is not my strong point. I'd rather watch a video and visualize instead of just reading something. So I think pushing past that as well. Yeah.
Do you know if any of your flatmates are going to come back, or is it kind of up in the air? You don't really know.
I think the university's making this deal with I think Kelly Storage or something like that, about like them coming to clear the rooms and everything. So if they do come and clear the rooms, then there's no reason for them to come back here.
Yeah.
But preferably, I think some of them, they did say that, if it's lifted and all their stuff is still here, then they would come back and gather their stuff. But there's no need to, then they probably won't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Expensive flights.
Yeah.
You can get any at all.
Yeah.
David, is there any advice you'd give to students who are struggling right now? You've mentioned already, as an extrovert, it's been tough to meet with people. We have amazing digital platforms to do that, and we're all a bit over zoomed out, and we've all done enough something like that. Have you found any kind of tips to help you get this done? Anything you'd kind of recommend to other people?
I think definitely staying connected is, first of all, a very important thing. Technology these days really help us a lot with staying connected with family and friends. I know my friends and family back in Hong Kong are miles away. So I think staying connected is one thing. Like being alone, it can be easy. It can easily make you feel a little bit, out of the world a little bit. But staying connected with, either Zoom or social media platforms, just to talk to your family or talk to your friends to catch up. I think that's the way as well. Staying active is another thing, because I feel like the more I stay in, the more I don't want to go out sometimes. So it's kind of like, I kind of motivate myself to do some running, do some exercise as well, because staying in all day can be quite, not as healthy as going out as well. And I think last but not least is, I think spending time alone. I think keeping busy is one thing as well, but not being too busy to the point where you don't get to relax. because there's some days that I'll cram my schedule up, so I know that there's a sense of structure. But at the same time, you need time to relax, just have time for yourself, and whatnot as well. So I think in that aspect, those three are like the biggest advice I would give anyone who's struggling during this time. Yeah, and to know that we're all like sort of in this together, that you're not the only one going through it. So if you do need help and support, to definitely voice out and ask, because I'm sure there's some people around in the communities and societies that are willing to help out. Yeah.
And I guess there's still obviously some students still on Menlo Park as well. So maybe you should all, my neighbours here in the road where I live, we all met up yesterday on the road, and everyone with a cup of tea. Some had champagne, I think, as well. But we all kind of stayed in
Classy.
that's where I live. 2 meters apart, but that was a lovely way just to catch up with people. We were all outside. We still had the social distancing measures in place. But it was lovely just to at least to see people. And my son Nathan was really excited because he saw a few dogs as well, so he was running back and forth between them, so he was happy as well.
I have 6 puppies. I mean, I have 4 puppies. I have 6 dogs. So definitely miss them. Yeah,
that's a lot of dogs.
Yeah, very, very cute. Yeah,
Definitely.
Big 3, I think. So.
I definitely hit a soft spot there.
Yeah, definitely puppies. I really, really, really miss them. So I guess after quarantining, when I get back, then I'll get to see them. So
yeah, definitely, you should get them off. But maybe you can arrange something in Menlo Park just to maybe work out together in the football courts, just with 2 meters apart.
It's a little bit hard because I don't know who's here and who's not here, and it's kind of like, I see some lights, on here and there, but I think most of the place are quite empty. So
Oh, sheesh! But we need to get that changed so that you know who's still around. I'm sure in a Facebook group #staying in Guildford there should be some people around giving you a wave from Menlo Park.
Probably,
Or maybe you should do your daily walks onto Norma campus. Go for a run there around the lake.
Maybe wave like a big flag that says, "Oh, everyone from Menlo Park follow this flag" or something.
No, not together, Menlo Park people, just to see some people, just to exercise. David, you've mentioned a few times already that you're Christian, or that you kind of sing worship songs, and you mentioned the Christian Union. So what is your role within the Christian Union? And you mentioned your parents are missionaries as well. So I know you're a Christian, but what is your role within the Christian Union?
Basically, I am in charge of all the international work that's happening in the Christian Union. Working with the international team to run events, as well as work alongside the CU to equip and encourage them to reach out, because it's not just the international team's role. But I'm also in charge of the publicity side of things, because I know if I'm coming to uni from miles and miles away, the first thing I'll go to is probably the Instagram page or the social media platforms, just to see what's about. But definitely the whole point of what we do is to kind of bring the gospel out to different people in different nations that probably cannot hear about the gospel, but in a sense, in this way that we can socialize and get to know them, not just kind of the first thing we met, we would talk about the gospel, but kind of building that relationship from, day one, and kind of building on top of that.
And one of the things, like, people might think, well, you're Christian, you should be going to church, but you can't go to church. How does your faith work without the Sunday meetings?
I think it does take a lot of discipline, first of all, for just staying on track. I think reading God's word, the Bible, is very important in the sense that it brings truth and meaning into my life as well. And then for someone who doesn't like reading, that is quite tricky. So using ways that I know I've been doing this with one of my friends, but basically we both find it a little bit hard to read the Bible. So what we do is we both dedicated one emoji um, that will be kind of like our sharing emoji for our what we've learned in the Bible. So that's kind of encouraged us. Doing it with someone always really helps in a sense, because I think I've been reading Ecclesiastes and she's been reading Romans, and basically we're both horrible at reading the Bible. So just doing every day, knowing that okay, we're all gonna learn something new.
Yeah.
And when my friend shares what she's learned, it actually teaches me something new as well. So I think that kind of helps in the first sense. I think the second one would be again staying connected in the communities, because even though you can't go to church face to face, churches still do a lot of either communities on Zoom as well as Sunday services online. So definitely being able to watch that and engage with that is something that's really helpful. But also for, I think, people who don't have a church to plug into yet, there's a lot of churches on YouTube which does live as well. I know I've been watching my own church in Guildford, Centerpoint, as well as Elevation Church on YouTube as well, or Hillsong, or one of the smaller churches as well. Like just kind of seeing how they lead worship and how they what they're preaching in their sermons is another thing. So there's a lot of resources out there that can bring a different perspective on how churches do their services, as well as stay connected even in this weird time. So I think that thing, yeah.
I'm gonna ask the question everyone is gonna want to ask you now. What is your dedicated emoji?
My dedicated emoji.
Yeah, for sharing.
For sharing. Actually, it's a plane. The little red plane. It's not. I don't know why I chose a plane. I just kind of went and just picked one. It's not anything interesting. I think plane. I don't know. I don't know why I chose a plane.
You could have chosen so many other good emojis.
I know. It's not as interesting as I thought. Yeah. My friend chose the high five one.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, the plane one's kind of lame, isn't it? Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It's kind of random.
Maybe review that. Maybe
I can change
that
it.
one thing.
Yeah. Do like a little poop emoji.
Yes, there are so many good ones out there, and they keep updating them as well.
Yeah.
So it could go really big there.
Yeah.
One final question before we ask you for any final words, not final, but for the session. How does your faith help you in these times of lockdown?
I think the main key thing that encourages me is to know that that our God is always there for us. I think in all the times of needs, even though how hard it may be, to know that He's always loving and He's always there. I like what my friend shared the other day was how I'm always not alone. Like we're always not alone in the room. There's always 4 of us in the room because there's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And I think I really like the analogy to know that like our God is present, even though we might feel really lonely. And I think that's a big encouragement to know that He never forsakes us. And even though this virus is pretty big and it's kind of impacting on the whole world, to know that our God is so much bigger than that, to be able to overcome that as well. And I think having that sense of trust in Him is important as well. So I think that's really encouraged me through it. And I think I'm really blessed that He's given me so many different friends and family members that still keep connected. So I think kind of being grateful in this time of like weirdness as well, because it's easy for us, especially myself, to complain about different things. But I think waking up each day to be more thankful for what God's been giving me, instead of just complaining of what I don't have and how this virus should go on, not go on, should like end soon, and whatnot. So I think that's the most encouraging side of things.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Do you have any final words? Anything you
Sounds like
want to send out to the
best
Facebook
way.
community and YouTube as well?
Yeah, I think just sharing the love with one another, staying connected, would be something that I would definitely say. I think in this time, to know that I think this virus definitely impacts us all in a certain way, not just that man over there or like myself or anything, but in general, like all of our lives are being impacted by this. But how do we show God's type of love to one another is very important as well. Not just thinking about ourselves, but yeah, but just having that positive mind and grateful mind, and to know that this is going to pass. I think
Yeah.
that's the big advice or final words. Yeah.
David, we want to thank you ever so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for your recommendations for Netflix. And absolutely wishing you all the best for your obviously time looking into law and everything else. And
Thank you so much.
It's been great to have you.
Yeah, thank you for what all of you doing as well in Friends International, and definitely continue to stay connected with you guys as well.
Yes, yes, and anyone who's been watching either live or afterwards, if you have any questions, want to get in touch, then do comment, and we're gonna get back to you. And David is probably around as well, gonna be reading comments and is happy to answer any questions you might have as well. Brilliant.
Thanks. We'll end there. David, thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Evening.
You too. You too.
For those watching, take care. We'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.